I'm joined from New York by Max Wolff, Chief Economist at Manhattan Venture Partners. Thank you so much for joining us. So, no more Galaxy Note 7. What is your reaction to this decision?
So great to be here. Thanks for having me, Elaine. Always a pleasure to join you. I think we're surprised, but not that surprised when we saw this was going to be a huge product. So let's be fair to Samsung. They invented the phablet, or the large form factor size phone. It's taken the world by storm. The Plus series in Apple, a huge contributor to their success, is really very much inspired by the Note series. It's been a top seller. This new one, the 7, was lauded by everyone who reviewed it, and there were high hopes that it was going to be the phone that brought Samsung back from the doldrums the last 2 years to global dominance. Instead, it turned into a fiasco. I think cutting it off here makes more sense. You can't risk another misadventure in quality control. Everything that says Samsung on it for the next 18 months has to be perfect, or this damage can leach across into the many, many products that this proud company has earned a real reputation for quality on, and are at risk if they don't do something to cut this off now.
So we heard our correspondent Jack Barton mention a possible Galaxy Note 7S. When you hear about that, should Samsung really just take its time and not rush something out too quickly like they did with this replacement? Or, are they just trying to feed the beast? People are going to be asking for something.
Well, look, it's hard to invent an area of electronics, be this successful with it, and then abandon the name. But I think we cannot see another Note product. I don't really believe they're going to put something else on there. Basically, everyone who's been on a flight for the last several months has heard an infomercial about why they should never have a phone. And asking people to buy another phone that says a Note and then disregard various warnings is probably not a good idea. I think the name Note is probably one for the history books here. I think this is still a national champion in South Korea, a global behemoth that sells everything for the house and everything that plugs into the wall, and is also a true chaebol doing all kinds of other industries as well inside South Korea. They can and will recover, but they have to be perfect. Everything has to work perfectly. They need a huge PR blitz, and I don't think they could risk anything like doing another rush job, and I don't see why you'd name anything the Note right now unless you're a comedian looking for a one-liner on a late-night show.
So what does Samsung need to do to repair its brand? Because it's certainly gotten a hit. There's a lot of mistrust out there regarding the Note, as you mentioned. So what does Samsung need to do next, other than being perfect?
Yeah, so I think they need to talk about the other phones they have. They have the sort of Edge line and the Galaxy line, which are hugely successful, which are part of this flagship team. They have to figure out what to do internally about what's probably going to be a $7 to $10 billion loss and guide markets so they don't have rough sell-offs. And they have to show that they are still the folks that earned the trust of the world by making affordable, excellent products and going from nothing to dominance in high-end televisions and breaking into the appliance business and taking a real market share. This is a brand that was really in some ways one of the first to show South Korea means quality. They have to double down on that, and they have to do a lot of advertising. They also need to tell us exactly what went wrong, why it wasn't caught faster, and why it will never happen with a Samsung product ever again.
Well, bring us up to date there in New York. How are investors reacting to this news about the Note going away forever? Are they worried about it?
No, I think people tend to think this is a very tough business, and customer loyalty, particularly outside of Apple, is very difficult. So people like a phone, maybe they like the Android operating system, but how loyal they are to the hardware is a bit of a question mark. We know that Xiaomi and Lenovo and Huawei and HTC, some of the big competitors, are definitely going to be aggressively moving to get this market share, and so it's going to be hard to win it back. I think people are a little nervous that this doesn't become a big issue for a global titan like Samsung, but I think most of us who know the space know it's billions of dollars in loss. It's certainly a painful episode, but if they play their cards just right going forward, it will be a difficult story as part of a much larger tale of dominance for Samsung, which does look poised to still probably be the largest cell phone distributor in the world in terms of an original equipment manufacturer, even for 2017.
All right, Max Wolff, Manhattan Venture Partners, thank you so much for joining us from New York.
Thank you.